The United States and Ukraine have embarked on a new chapter in their relationship with the signing of a landmark economic partnership agreement. This historic deal, years in the making, is being hailed as a turning point for both nations, reflecting a deepening bond that extends far beyond traditional diplomacy. The agreement is not just a document, it's a symbol of shared ambition and mutual trust, forged in the face of global uncertainty and regional conflict. This agreement, finalized on April 30, 2025, centers around granting the U.S. access to Ukraine's vast mineral resources. Ukraine is home to some of the world's richest deposits of rare earth elements, lithium, titanium, and other critical minerals essential for modern technology, clean energy, and defense industries. By opening its mineral sector to American investment and expertise, Ukraine is positioning itself as a key player in the global supply chain for these strategic resources. The deal is expected to modernize Ukraine's mining industry, introducing advanced extraction technologies and sustainable practices. This modernization will not only increase output but also ensure that environmental standards are met, addressing concerns about the ecological impact of large-scale mining. In return, the U.S. has pledged to establish a substantial investment fund dedicated to bolstering Ukraine's economy. This fund will support not only the mining sector but also infrastructure, education, and technology initiatives, aiming to create jobs and foster long-term economic growth. American companies are expected to play a leading role bringing in capital innovation and global market access. This deal marks a significant development in U.S.-Ukraine relations, promising economic benefits for both nations while acknowledging the ongoing conflict with Russia. The agreement sends a clear message to the world. The U.S. stands firmly with Ukraine, not only in words but through concrete economic action. The partnership also includes provisions for workforce development and technology transfer, ensuring that Ukrainian workers gain valuable skills and experience. This focus on human capital is designed to empower local communities and build a foundation for future prosperity. But this agreement is not merely about resource extraction. It's about building a resilient, future-ready economy for Ukraine, one that can withstand external pressures and thrive in a rapidly changing world. It represents a strategic partnership aimed at leveraging Ukraine's mineral wealth for mutual benefit. Both countries are committed to transparency, fair trade, and responsible stewardship of natural resources, setting a new standard for international cooperation in the sector. The deal has been praised by both sides as a testament to their commitment to a prosperous and secure future for Ukraine. Leaders from both nations have emphasized the importance of this agreement in strengthening democratic values and supporting Ukraine's sovereignty. The agreement arrives at a pivotal moment for Ukraine. With the country facing immense challenges, this partnership offers hope and tangible support, reinforcing Ukraine's path toward economic independence and integration with Western markets. Engaged in an ongoing conflict, Ukraine sees this deal as a sign of continued U.S. support, both economically and strategically. The influx of investment and expertise is expected to strengthen Ukraine's resilience, helping it weather the storm of war and emerge stronger on the other side. For the U.S., the agreement secures access to critical minerals, reducing reliance on other global players. This is especially important as global competition for these resources intensifies and supply chain security becomes a top priority for American industry and national defense. This new era of partnership is expected to have far-reaching consequences, impacting not only the economies of both nations, but also the geopolitical landscape. As the world watches, the U.S. and Ukraine are charting a bold course, one that could reshape alliances, drive innovation, and inspire other nations to pursue similar paths of cooperation and shared prosperity. The U.S.-Ukraine agreement is structured around two key pillars. First, providing the United States with access to Ukraine's vast and strategically important mineral resources, and second, establishing a dedicated U.S. investment fund within Ukraine. These pillars are designed not only to foster economic cooperation but also to strengthen the long-term partnership between the two nations. The agreement is the result of months of negotiations, reflecting both countries' desire to create a framework that balances opportunity with sovereignty. The establishment of a U.S. investment fund in Ukraine is a central component of this deal. This fund is intended to attract American capital, expertise, and technology, channeling them into key sectors of the Ukrainian economy such as energy, infrastructure, and manufacturing. By doing so, the agreement aims to create new jobs, modernize industries, and stimulate sustainable growth across the country. The agreement grants the U.S. access to a wide array of Ukraine's valuable mineral resources, including oil, natural gas, and other essential hydrocarbons. These resources are critical not only for Ukraine's own development but also for meeting global demand, especially as the world seeks alternatives to traditional energy sources. The U.S. in turn gains a reliable partner in securing materials vital for its industries, from energy production to advanced manufacturing. Importantly, this access does not equate to ownership. Ukraine retains full ownership and control over its resources, with the authority to decide what, when, and where to extract. This ensures that Ukraine's national interests remain protected, and that resource management aligns with the country's long-term development goals and environmental standards. Ukrainian officials have repeatedly emphasized this point, reassuring citizens that the deal does not compromise their nation's sovereignty or decision-making power. Public communication campaigns and community meetings have been organized to address concerns and highlight the benefits of the agreement, fostering transparency and trust. The investment fund, a cornerstone of the agreement, is designed to drive economic growth within Ukraine. By focusing on sectors with high potential for innovation and job creation, the fund aims to transform Ukraine into a regional economic powerhouse. It also encourages collaboration between Ukrainian and American businesses, fostering knowledge transfer and technological advancement. The U.S. has committed to channeling significant funds into this initiative, with the stipulation that all profits generated during the first decade will be reinvested back into the Ukrainian economy. This reinvestment clause is intended to maximize the long-term impact of the fund, ensuring that the benefits are felt widely across Ukrainian society and that the country's economic foundations are strengthened for future generations. The specifics of profit sharing after this initial 10-year period are still under negotiation. Both sides are working to develop a fair and transparent framework that will guide future cooperation, taking into account evolving economic conditions and the interests of both nations. This dual approach of resource access and investment aims to create a mutually beneficial arrangement. By combining American investment with Ukrainian resources and talent, the agreement sets the stage for a new era of cooperation, innovation, and shared prosperity. Ukraine benefits from much-needed economic stimulus, job creation, and technological advancement, while the U.S. secures a vital source of raw materials crucial for various industries. Ultimately, this agreement is seen as a blueprint for future international partnerships, demonstrating how nations can work together to achieve shared goals while respecting each other's sovereignty and interests. The road to this historic agreement was not without its challenges. The negotiations, spanning several weeks, were marked by periods of intense and, at times, strained discussions. The main point of contention revolved around ensuring the agreement's terms were equitable and mutually beneficial. Initial drafts of the agreement, perceived as overly favoring U.S. interests, faced resistance from Ukrainian negotiators. Concerns arose regarding the level of U.S. control over resource extraction and the distribution of profits from the investment fund. Ukraine's firm stance on maintaining control over its resources and ensuring a fair share of the economic benefits led to revisions in the agreement. The final version, a result of compromise and understanding, addresses many of the initial concerns, paving the way for a more balanced partnership. The tense negotiations highlight the complexities involved in striking a balance between securing strategic interests and fostering a truly collaborative partnership. The signing of the U.S.-Ukraine minerals deal has elicited strong and varied reactions from leaders, analysts, and citizens on both sides of the Atlantic. This landmark agreement, which aims to secure critical mineral resources for the United States, while supporting Ukraine's economic recovery, has quickly become a focal point in international discussions about security, trade, and diplomacy. Former U.S. President Donald Trump, a key figure in the negotiations, has hailed the agreement as a major victory for the United States. In his public statements, Trump has repeatedly emphasized that the deal represents a new era of American strength and leadership on the world stage, particularly in the face of growing global competition for resources. Trump's supporters have echoed his sentiments, viewing the agreement as a testament to his administration's commitment to putting American interests first. They argue that securing access to Ukraine's mineral wealth will help reduce U.S. dependence on rival nations and create new opportunities for American industry. Trump, known for his assertive and sometimes controversial approach to international agreements, has also highlighted the deal's role in, protecting U.S. contributions to Ukraine. He has framed the agreement as a way to ensure that American aid is matched by tangible benefits, both economically and strategically. However, Trump's claims about the scale of U.S. aid, specifically his statement that the United States has provided $350 billion to Ukraine, have sparked debate and skepticism among experts and journalists. Critics have pointed out that these figures appear to be inflated, raising questions about the accuracy of the administration's messaging. Official figures from the Kiel Institute for the World Economy, a respected research organization, place the actual amount of U.S. aid to Ukraine much lower, closer to $120 billion. This discrepancy has fueled further discussion about transparency and accountability in international aid. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, on the other hand, has adopted a more conciliatory and diplomatic tone. He has described the deal as truly equal and fair, emphasizing that it was negotiated in the spirit of partnership and mutual respect. Zelensky has stressed that the agreement is not just about minerals, but about building a long-term relationship between the two countries. Within Ukraine, the deal has been met with cautious optimism. Lawmakers and economic advisors see it as a potential catalyst for investment and modernization, while also acknowledging the challenges of ensuring that the benefits reach ordinary Ukrainians. Zelensky, highlighting the agreement's significance for Ukraine's future, revealed that the deal stemmed from his meeting with Trump at the Vatican. He described their discussions as frank and productive, laying the groundwork for what he hopes will be a new chapter in U.S.-Ukrainian relations. This contrast in rhetoric, Trump's focus on American gains versus Zelensky's emphasis on partnership, really underscores the different perspectives and priorities driving the two nations. It also reflects the broader geopolitical context, where alliances are constantly being tested and redefined. While Trump continues to focus on securing U.S. interests and projecting strength, Zelensky is looking to the future, emphasizing the partnership's potential to help Ukraine recover, rebuild, and grow. As the world watches, the success of this deal will depend not only on the leaders' words, but on their ability to deliver real results for their people. A critical aspect of the U.S.-Ukraine minerals agreement, repeatedly emphasized by Ukrainian officials, is the preservation of Ukraine's sovereignty over its resources. Despite granting the U.S. access to its mineral wealth, Ukraine retains full ownership and control over its extraction processes. Yulia Sviridenko, Ukraine's first deputy prime minister and minister of economy, has been vocal in stressing this point. Sviridenko reassured the Ukrainian public that the agreement does not equate to a sell-off of their nation's resources. Instead, she framed the deal as a partnership where Ukraine maintains control over its assets. This emphasis on Ukrainian sovereignty serves two key purposes. Firstly, it aims to alleviate internal anxieties about potential exploitation by a more powerful nation. Secondly, it sends a clear message to the international community that Ukraine will not compromise its territorial integrity, despite its ongoing challenges. This commitment to safeguarding Ukraine's sovereignty is honestly crucial for the deal's long-term success and for maintaining public trust in the partnership.